Welcome, Urooj Seemeen. We really appreciate you joining us today. Would you share for our listeners a little bit about who you are and how you came to be involved in space and students?
Assalamu alaikum. I'll say assalamu alaikum. That's what we say in Pakistan. I'm Urooj Seemeen. I'm from Pakistan. I am the CEO and founder of eServices and Technologies. And we have just launched a platform called Chalk Talk. I've been a part of STEM education and say space sciences for about since 2017 to 2018. And I'm a computer engineer myself. I'm a certified Six Sigma Black Belt. So STEM is something that is a part of me. And because I belong to a family that is into education, my grandfather was a teacher himself. So I try to combine all of those things and try to bring STEM education to the students of Pakistan.
Now, when you mentioned black belt, I did a little bit of investigation because I was like, wait a minute. For us, I was thinking, wow, she's also into the martial arts, but it really is
I
an
know.
educational certification, isn't it?
Right.
No, it's basically quality assurance certification.
Yeah.
It's a highest quality assurance certification. I was a part of, I'm a computer engineer, so I used to do programming and QA related to that. But because I have a passion of education, so what I did was that when I was doing my certification in quality assurance, I did a project specifically for the schools and for the betterment of the schools and how we can improve our education system and how we can improve the whole scenario that the students go through. So I implemented that all the techniques that I learn in quality assurance and implemented it into education. So that's why I say that I'm a certified Six Sigma Black Belt in education.
In education, I
That's
love
great.
it.
For our listeners that may not be familiar with the phrase Six Sigma, we use Sigma to denote a standard deviation. So when you look at a distribution of outcomes, and in particular, Six Sigma, if I'm not wrong, is when you're manufacturing, you have less
Yeah.
than one defect per 1 million items. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. So usually, when I was doing this certification, I had people who were actually working in manufacturing. So I was the only one who was trying to implement these techniques into the education sector.
Now, when it comes to education, particularly in Pakistan, and I know that you're working now with some students who've done some space projects.
Yeah.
What is kind of the Pakistani view of space? Is it something that's kind of burgeoning and coming to the forefront, or how are you equating space with education there?
So we have students who are really passionate about it. We have young people who are coming now are really, really passionate about it. They want to learn more. They want to do more in in space industry. But the problem is that we have very limited resources over here. So that's what we are trying to break through over here. We are trying to provide those resources to the students here so that the passion that because I think space sciences is something whenever you look up to the stars, it's like, oh, what's there? That's something that every human being have. So similarly, the students of Pakistan have a lot of interest in that. There are young people who are working really, really hard. We have different societies over here in different cities who are actually working in this area, and that's what we are trying to do as well. So we partner through my organization. I partnered with Explore Mars, and we introduced Humans to Mars Summit over here. We introduced Janet's Planet Astronaut Academy over here. We have students who participated in STEM Citizen Space competition. So over the year, uh, I haven't limited it to just not just for the university level students. We have students who were in elementary level, who were in middle level, and working in different projects related to space sciences. So yeah, we have a lot of potential over here, and now people are learning a little bit more.
That's fantastic. I so agree with you that space is universal, right? They I saw a study this summer. I was doing a NASA workshop where they looked at 15-year-olds from 100 countries of varying economic backgrounds. The one universal theme that regardless of where you live, how much money you have, what your education is life in space. Is there life
Yeah.
out there?
Yeah.
And a curiosity to find it. So I feel like that's perhaps there's not as much that separates us as could join us through
True.
exploration, because there is an American author. He's an engineer. His name is Robert Zubrin. He's
Mhm.
written a book called The Case for Space, and he
Mhm.
explains why we must get off the planet, right? It's just a necessity for our species. So I really like what you said there. So you've adopted or embraced some of these conferences and competitions that we have here in the US. I'd like to know, based on what little I know about your country.
It's Maghrib time over here in Pakistan, so
No
that's why.
worries.
Yeah.
Um, I had a friend I worked with. He was an engineer also in industry years ago. And so I looked through, my lens of Pakistan is through my friend who told me what it was like growing up there. But here's a question. Have you embraced or are you aware of any of the agricultural type NASA competitions as we try to prepare to grow food in space and or live on the moon? Have you had a chance to look into those areas?
So we're trying to find these kind of competitions and these kind of programs so that we can introduce it here in Pakistan. But through Humans to Mars Summit, we were able to introduce some of these people who were, because last year when we introduced Humans to Mars Summit in Pakistan, and we had a small online conference, because it was really difficult to get everybody on board. So we were like, okay, let's have an online conference so that the students can get in touch. So we had some really good speakers who talked about growing food in space and agriculture aspect of it. And for Pakistan, you are on the right track, because for Pakistan, agriculture is the main thing. So yeah, we are trying to find different competitions and different people so that we can get students to get in touch with
I'm
those things.
sure Kevin will
Right.
be able to help you with that. But I want to kind of,
So,
oh, good. Well, all
well, I
right.
just wanted to follow up with you. What age students did you bring to the US? And were some of the kids that were in your virtual conference last year, did they end up traveling to the US? And my last question about travel is, how difficult was it for your students to raise their money to travel to the US?
Or to even come
So
in.
really difficult, really, really difficult. I'll answer your last question first. It was really difficult. We had to find sponsors. We had like the students, but it was, but that's the one thing that I tell the student, that at the end of the day, it's the whole process that you go through. So when you go to a sponsor and you present yourself and you tell the sponsor that why they should be investing in you, that's the learning skill that you need. I am learning it at the age of 40, and you are learning it at 14 when you're 14 years old. So that's, it's going to help you in your lifetime. So yeah, so your last question. So it was really, really difficult to get everybody, the finances, the visas, the tickets. It was really expensive as well. But it was a lifetime opportunity for the students. And it was like, I would say it was an out of this world experience. I had students who were, I had a 8-year-old, a 9-year-old with me. I had a 13-year-old and a 12-year-old with me. So I had a group, group of three boys. They're called the Ninja Brothers, and they were 13 years old. And then I had girls, a group of girls. They are called the Pink Fairies, and they were 8, 9 years old. And they presented at the Humans to Mars Summit about their idea of Mars oxygen machine. They actually presented at Cities in Space, and they won position over there. So they submitted their idea to Humans to Mars Summit, and it was accepted. The summit was actually for the adults. They were the only student speaker over there, but but they gave them the stage, and they talked about their Mars oxygen machine that they called Mom. And the idea behind their machine was that it should work like a plant, like absorbing carbon dioxide on Mars and then converting it into oxygen. So yeah, so it was a really good experience for them. They learned a lot just by presenting over there, because there were questions, and sometimes they had the answer for that question, and sometimes they didn't have any answer. But it was a really good experience for them. Yeah.
we actually have had some students who also kind of got their feet wet at Humans to Mars, and they are wonderful as far as allowing the students, well, like you said, to take the stage. It allows them those life skills, as you were pointing out, those soft skills, right, that are invaluable to have. But I want to pivot a little bit, if it's okay, to Chalk Talk, because you're taking your passion beyond Pakistan, and you've created an online course, like a classroom really, for students around the globe. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the idea of Chalk Talk just clicked to me last year, and I travel a lot. I'm the affiliate director of Destination Imagination in Pakistan. It's also a STEM-based program, and there are 7 different challenges in technologies and art and everything in between. And the students work on it, and then they present their idea at the national tournament and then at the global finals. So I there are multiple organizations. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of all these organizations and get in touch with all these experts. And I personally have learned a lot from them. My kids are unschooled. They have never been to school, and they learn through all these programs, and they learn whenever they are connected with these experts, they learn from them. So I went to United States, and I was at the Humans to Mars Summit. I was talking with some of these really amazing people, and I thought that I have been fortunate enough to get in touch with these people, and these people really want to get in touch with some of the learners, but there's a gap, and we cannot fill that. Like, there's a gap to get them connected. So I thought that if there's a platform where any expert from any field, they have this idea that, okay, it's a weekend, I am open to have a talk with anyone, and they go there and they open their room, and anyone from around the world, any learner from around the world, they come on the platform and they say that, oh, I have Janet over here, and I really like her profile. Let me talk to her. And they can just get in touch with them then and there. They'll just connect with them and talk with them. So on the platform, we have the virtual environment where you could just go and talk with anybody. We have a built-in video conferencing tool on the platform. So if any teacher is interested in conducting group session, conducting classes, they can do that as well. If you are you don't have any classes, you're just like, okay, this is my profile, I've put my profile over there, I'm interested in talking about all of these things, and I'm open on weekends or weekdays, so people can just get in touch with you and talk with you. That's it. So the idea behind is that connecting experts with learner. Anybody who is open to a conversation, you can go there. And I think that in this time and era of technology and artificial intelligence, where it's great, I love artificial intelligence myself, but I personally believe that the power of human connection is more than anything. So that's the main essence behind Chalk Talk.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Did you incorporate Chalk Talk in the United States, or is it incorporated in Pakistan?
So it's open for everyone. We have experts from, I'm sure you guys know Naeem Altaf. He's the Chief Technology Officer of IBM. So he is on the platform. Janet is on the platform.
We actually knew a lot of people from there.
Yeah.
So, I might have submitted my name as well for consideration. So
yeah, why not? You can have a podcast. You can have your podcast on Chalk Talk as well. So we are open to them.
Yeah, the only thing I'm a biochemist by training, so I can talk about the biological payloads that we've flown to space. But my question specifically was, is Chalk Talk a company? And if so, did you incorporate it as a company in the US or in Pakistan?
So Chalk Talk is a registered company in UAE. And in UAE. And we are planning to register it in the United States as well. Hopefully soon, because it's just the new idea. It was born in May, and we have started all these conversation and everything. So it'll be, but it is available for the students of United States, and it's available for the students all around the world. And we have already started multiple conversations. So I'm so blessed that there are people who are interested in talking with the learners, and it's not even specific to any learner. We have learners who are, I have a 5-year-old who was talking to a mentor, and I have a PhD student who was talking with Artemis about their thesis and how can I write. So that's why I don't call that it's for children. It's for everyone who want to connect an expert with a learner. If you have a skill you want to share, you can share it over there. If you want to learn from someone, you even can learn from someone over there.
Right. I noticed that when I went on, like in addition to these platforms where they can converse or to, I guess, consult, right?
Yeah.
There are classes that many of your experts provide as well, so that students who are looking to explore that a little further can actually then get taught by that. I thought that was fantastic because we experience the same issue, like middle school, high school kids doing CubeSats. Like I had never even known what a CubeSat was when I first met Kevin, but yet they were doing this work. And we met, well, it's Kevin's network. He has so many contacts, just like what you were saying, that just being able to connect them to the kids has opened up a world for the students that they would never have had, maybe unless they were in university or as adults. We got to start earlier with kids. We wait too long, at least here in this country, we wait too long to start doing real work.
I actually agree with you. It's like we wait to do all these interesting things when you're going to be an adult. And I have been really, really fortunate that my kids, when my kids were born and I decided that I'm going to homeschool them, at that time, I had this thing in my mind that I'm going to follow their passion and I'm going to let them lead me where they want to go. And believe me, it has given them a lot of opportunities, which if they were in school, they wouldn't have gotten that. I'm not saying that you should not be going to school. I'm just saying that it's they had a lot of time to go and explore all their passion and all their ideas and everything. And they didn't wait to do all these fun things. Just okay, when I'll be an adult, then I would be able to do all of this thing. And now for me personally, I see that I was in a school, I completed my degree and everything, but you had all these things. And then after that, I got to decide that what I'll be doing with my life.
Not a lot.
And yeah.
Well, I was going to add what you describe in the US, we have literature in education, we call that a growth mindset.
Yeah.
So you have, instead of a fixed mindset, where you sort of ascribe some sort of limitations on the kids, it's very open-ended. There's no top, right? It's you maximize the students' curiosity and allow them to engage. I have one idea for you.
Yeah.
Maybe your first Chalk Talk International Conference should be in Dubai, because we've been once and we would love to go back. That would be a great location to bring, East and West, or I don't want to say central location, but it's very friendly to, North America. And a lot of us that have been would love to go back to Dubai.
Yeah. Dubai is an amazing place. That's the main reason that my company, Services and Technologies, is registered in Pakistan. And when we launched Chalk Talk, we thought that, okay, it would be better to register this company in UAE, because again, like you are saying, that it's not a central location, but it is a central location, not geographically, but through the mindset. It's the central location, and it's easier for everyone to be there. Everyone can be there. Visas are easy and everything is easy. So why not? Definitely.
The Indian group that we were working with, the little Martians, like that would be easy for them to pop over to.
Right. We partnered with a group, and maybe you've heard of these. Are you familiar with microbits?
Yeah.
The microbits, right? So we did a coding hackathon with a STEM group in India as well. And I just think about all the things that you're doing, and I think about the microbits, and I think about the agricultural aspect. A nation, first you have to feed yourself, and you need clean water, and you need to feed yourself, and then you need homes, and then eventually, hopefully, you have enough stability where you're going to space.
Yeah.
So, but the agriculture in space helps all of us on Earth as well. So the better
True.
we understand things like that. So it makes sense that you have kids that may want to do that research. And of course, air to breathe. That was honestly,
Well, space
that was an
debris
easy
too.
one. My quick question to you is, as an engineer, is and I'm thinking of you as a small business owner.
Yeah.
How is the entrepreneur or the startup culture in Pakistan? I know nothing about it. I'm very curious as to what your experience has been starting your company.
So, because now, I think over the years, like past 3 4 years, the startup culture has really grown in Pakistan. I was actually a part of All Pakistan Women Entrepreneur Program that was run by United States, sorry, U.S. Embassy, and I was in the top 10 women who were selected as a startup owner. So yeah, it has grown a lot. Investors are coming to Pakistan because they know that there is a lot of potential over here. There are people who are working that, like I said in the beginning, the young generation have a lot of potential. They have amazing ideas, and because of that, the startup culture is really growing over here.
Were you trained with something called the lean canvas model? Was that something you used to sort of, it's a one pager that you lay out your business plan and
Yeah, your elevated pitch and everything like that.
your customer identification? That's great. And I really like the fact that you're helping your students learn how to present their work.
Yeah.
Because in our world, it doesn't matter how smart you are, if you can't be a persuasive speaker,
Yeah.
a competent and confident and persuasive speaker, you will often be dismissed or your ideas won't find good footing.
True, and that is true. That's why through when I started e-services and technologies in 2017, and the first program that we introduced was Destination Imagination, and we had around 21 teams from all over Pakistan. We had 10 teams who were like paying for the program, but then we had 11 teams who were from really underserved areas. And through among those 21 teams, we had 3 teams who were able to who were selected to go to the global finals. Now these teams, they worked day and night and tried to present themselves in front of different sponsors so that they were able to go and represent Pakistan on the global scale. And I remember up till now that we had a team, and some of the students who came back to me and say that we presented everything in front of all these sponsors, and they were asking all these difficult questions, and it's really hard to get money from people. And I said that, yeah, you have learned the life lesson. That's the thing. I am sitting over here, but it's really difficult for me to go in front of anyone and ask them for money and ask them or pursue them that why they should be investing in me, why I have this amazing idea, and how is it's going to change the world. And if you are going to learn this, even if you don't go to United States, it doesn't matter. If you are learning this one skill over here right now, that's what it's all about. And but fortunately, they were able to pursue other sponsors. They were able to go and represent Pakistan. So yeah, it was a life-changing moment for me.
I would like to share with you, because we can only launch every 3 or 4 years, let's say a satellite. We needed intermediate deliverables or goals for the students that would keep them motivated. So we started having them find the topics they love and write technical papers. We had them submit them to conferences, national, international conferences. The conference doesn't know they're 11, 12, 14 years old. And so when the papers were accepted, that became the justification for we need to go to that conference. So I just encourage you to, you got these excited kids. They encourage them to write, technically write, not only speak, become competent speakers, but technical writers, so that they can prepare themselves, for the world, the workforce.
The title of our podcast, right, is Let's Go to Space, Blue Sky Learning. And I'm reminded in talking with you that what Kevin introduced to me is this philosophy of blue sky is that, kids really don't know what they can't achieve. Like they think they can can do things that, you know, adults can do. They have no idea that they shouldn't be building satellites, for example. But it's also the idea that, you know, you kind of take on these ridiculous goals and you break them down into achievable parts. You're doing exactly that. And you're providing not only opportunities that are going to help students in their careers, but as you pointed out, those life skills are also, just like the love of space, are universal. How
Exactly.
you present yourself, how you share your knowledge. So we really appreciate talking with you today. Before we close up, if people were interested in finding out about your community, give us a plug for where we could find you, and then any final advice you'd have for maybe some of those learners out there who might be in areas who don't have access.
Yeah. So if you want to get in touch with us, my website is chalktalk.world, and you can get in touch with us through that, or eservicesandtech.com. If you want, I can just type it in the chat, and then you can
Yeah, I'll
just
put them in the
share
show
it.
notes for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And eservicesandtech.com and
Chalktalk.world
chalktalk.world.
and
Yes.
eServices
Okay.
Tech. Got it. All
Okay.
right. And so
And regarding the advice, I would say that I personally believe that learning happens all the time, whatever you are doing, wherever you are sitting, even if you are just sitting in a garden, learning is happening over there. So don't wait. Do not wait that, oh, if I'll be able to do that, then I'm going to do this. Do not wait. Start exploring, and don't get disheartened about if anybody lets you down. Don't get disheartened about that. That's the second thing. If you have these two things, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. You're not going to you don't have to have like shiny things to start learning, shiny things to have like start exploring. You can just start learning from where you are. And if you're going to go and see other people, just go approach them and start talking to them. We are really afraid of each other. So what I have personally tried to overcome myself is that if I see somebody, I just approach them and start talking to them. You never know what opportunity is going to be open over there. And through that, because in the beginning of my career, I used to be afraid of talking about anything, and I was like, okay, if I'm going to open my mouth, what is this person going to think about me? Or I don't have that much knowledge, so should I be talking to him or not? But when I overcome that fear and just went there and start speaking to them, I realized that they're just human beings.
yeah.
They're like we are all alike in many ways, just like Kevin said. So yeah, approach somebody and start talking to them, and you're going to start learning. So that's it.
Wonderful.
We very much appreciate your time today, and we look forward
Thank
to
you.
partnering with you in some way and figuring out how we can.
Yes, definitely. Me too. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.